My name is Phumzile Tembu. I am the founder of Ingwe DP2 Ltd, trading as PureB Baby Care. We manufacture organic coconut oil-based baby skincare ointments for skin irritations found in infants and toddlers. Our products or our company was inspired after I gave birth to a baby boy who was then diagnosed with a skin irritation at the age of 3 months. And after using different kinds of products, I didn't actually find a product that will help my son at that moment. And then I decided to get out of my comfort zone and start to find a solution for my son. And that's when I actually started the product. Eventually, I cracked it and then applied my son, and he was healed. And after the research that I did, I also noticed that there are so many babies, infants to toddlers, that have skin irritations, and some are genetic like eczema, and others mainly from playing with other babies, such as ringworms. And I also noticed them having heat rashes, nappy rashes, crackle caps, and other related skin irritations that are found in infants and toddlers. And that's when I actually did the product or started the business late in 2018. Then I started giving people in around my community, I started giving them samples. Um, and then I asked for them to give me respond or feedback. And then they gave me positive feedback. And others requested that they wanted me to direct them to a place where I bought the product so they can also go and buy the product for their babies. Then that's when I realized that there is a gap in the market, and I then needed to formalize whatever that I was doing and register the business and start trading. And I started trading in 2019, beginning of 2019, and that's when I actually was introduced to GEP. It was actually difficult because having to be in a township, most individuals, they are loyal to certain brands. And when you come with something new that is not branded, that is not well packaged, that is not even tested, and you say it's working, you needed to have so much proof that they can then trust you. To actually use the product or try and test the product on their infant skin, because then infant skin is very sensitive. And then I started communicating with GEP, although I was facing those challenges, especially I didn't have any background of manufacturing or anything. I was just having a little knowledge from the research that I did, and I started mixing my own ingredients and tried out different strategies on how to actually help my son, because at that moment nothing else mattered. It was me trying to find solution for my son, and noticing that it's not only my son, there are also other infants and other babies and toddlers that are facing the very same problem. Then I realized that there's so much big problem in the market. It was a very difficult challenge until I met GEP. It was better. After college, I did receptionist, and then after college, I quickly got married. So, and then I didn't really have that much of work experience, but my husband was manufacturing perfumes, lotion, and roll-ons. So, in terms of mixing the chemicals, I had a bit of knowledge, and I would also assist him in teaching or training other individuals on how to manufacture perfumes, lotions, and roll-ons. Although I didn't have a formal training that I went to university for until recently, that I just graduated from UJ. So for me, it was just a matter of finding a solution for my child. And then I recently did a program with UJ, and eventually they then trained me formally how to manufacture and what are the things that I actually need to look at in terms of packaging the product. And then it was then tested, and the product was approved. We are currently supplying pharmacies around, and I think if it was not for my son's problem, I would have not known or came up with an innovation that can help other babies or infant to toddlers. When I then cracked the formula and I saw that the my son is healed, I wanted to reach out. So back in 2019, before COVID, we would have seminars. They would do certain things that you can interact with other entrepreneurs and meet other agencies. That's when I actually met GP on one of their summits in Johannesburg, Main Street. Yeah, yeah, it's Main Road or Main Street. Yeah. So I went there, and then I then attended the seminar. At that point, I met other manufacturers. I only had a honey jar with the ointment inside. I didn't have anything else to show that this is the product. But when I went there, they actually welcomed me and said, okay, from here, we will then help you. And they definitely did. And networking is very, very important, and because that's where you actually meet people. It's either you meet your potential clients or you meet your potential investors. So I think it is very important for us as manufacturers or entrepreneurs, whether you have a sample at that time or it's just an idea, or you just think that perhaps you have a certain solution that can solve a certain problem that you have identified. I don't think that you need to have branding, because I didn't have branding. I didn't have a business card. I didn't have a flyer. I didn't have even a website or Facebook page or anything. I only had a honey jar that is not labeled, that is it's just a product inside. You don't even know, you won't even trust what is inside exactly to even have to apply it in your skin. You had to just trust me saying that the product works, or have my word for it. So I think it's very important for us as entrepreneurs to go out. Even now, with the pandemic happening, there's so many visual seminars that are happening. There are so many trainings that are happening, and we meet a lot of individuals that actually help us to scale up in terms of growing our businesses. So it's very important for us as entrepreneurs to network and reach out to investors, clients, and anyone that can actually be inspired by your story. And I don't think we need to wait and say, I'm waiting for myself to have maybe this much capital in order for me to do certain things or to put certain things into action. I think you going as you are, especially in these agencies like GEP, going as you are, then they can then help you and groom you and help you to be at the next level. So I think it's very important for us to network. Yeah. No, like I said, I was just me. I didn't even have uniform or anything that will help me to be identified with, whether business card or flyers or a website. So when I went to GEP, I didn't even have a barcode for my product or a well packaged product. I only had a product that is in a honey jar, and then I went there. They welcomed me, and with other manufacturers as well, not only myself. They also assisted so many manufacturers that I know of, but specifically me and my brand. They did the rebranding of my business. I was using Ingwedi as a trading name. I was using Ingwedi as a trading name on my labels. So they then rebrand everything to be PureB. They paid for my labelings, they paid for my containers, they paid for my barcodes. I was able to be registered with the GSI. I was able to even have a website with GEP. I was able to have more raw materials to actually help me to produce more products, because I think they also noticed that if I have more raw materials, I'll be able to produce, even though I was still producing at home at my small kitchen, but they didn't really look at that. They gave me the resources. I had a website, I had business card, I had banners, I now have a signage that people can say, oh, this is where they are going, they're actually going. I now have a little extracting machine. I now have beautifully branded and tested products. And I only went there with a honey jar. And now my product is even dermatologically approved. And I think at this point, as entrepreneurs, we just need to reach out to them and not really judge ourselves and say, I don't have one, two, and three. These are the things that they have assisted me with without me taking out any cent or without me having to be on any kind of debt or loan. Everything was free. It's grant. Everything was free from the business cards, the website, and everything else that I've mentioned. It was for free. And today I have a well-branded T-shirt. I don't know if you can see it, and it's because of GEP. If we as entrepreneurs we can actually find time and give ourselves a chance to access information, because what I've realized is that we end up not having much of information or where exactly um, or maybe learn more on the industry that you are in. So if there's programs that you think you can actually grab or run into and actually maybe find time into saying that I'm going to just enroll in this program in order for me to acquire certain knowledge, whether it's business training, whether it's financial training, whether it's marketing, whether any kind of program that you think that can help you grow your business. I think knowledge, as entrepreneurs, we need to have more knowledge, more wisdom, and try and learn more about the industry, and not really think that you need to actually go to um, give out certain monies in order for you to get a certain qualification. There are so many programs that are there offered by different institutions, whether trainings, but I think if we can maybe grab those opportunities for ourselves and equip ourselves with knowledge on how to keep your records, financial records, on how to on how to market your product. I think it's very, very important for us to acquire more knowledge, especially at this point when you have a product. And then in terms of growing the business, it will be me now having to supply more. If we can have opportunities, I think if I can have opportunities from the government or from private institutions to supply, because we are currently supplying pharmacies around Tembisa only. And I think if we can then expand or be given an opportunity to move to retail stores without so many things that are actually required for us, because we can only manufacture a certain quantity. But if we can then get an opportunity to say, okay, you can start out at this pace, and I think that will also help us grow and also have containers, because where we are manufacturing now, I think that the space is becoming very small. If we can have more containers or companies that can say with the shipping containers that perhaps they are shipping raw materials with, they can then perhaps give us or sell us those containers for us to reuse those containers as our little small factories that we can actually occupy. Yeah, I think it's very important for entrepreneurs to not say at this point I've achieved everything, because you never say you've achieved everything, but the more you are open to growth and open to learning more skills and more things that can actually help you grow. So I think it's very important for us to just learn, have a learning heart, learn whether that thing you feel that is very small, but the more knowledge you have, it helps you to sustain your business or yourself as the founder of the business. Okay, there's so much in my list that I would love to say, but because of time and everything, I think I would actually, yes, want to thank GEP for not actually giving up on me, because I was one of the candidates or clients that will actually persist with emails, calls, and everything every day. If I get your number, I'm gonna WhatsApp you every day and ask you how far are you with my applications, how far are you, and I would go to an extent of sending emails or calling the office. So I'm actually grateful that they didn't actually say, oh, get angry at me, but they were very patient with me, and they managed to help me, especially during this time of the pandemic. There's so much things that happened so fast, and we had to adjust very quickly, because I was not really I didn't have so many years in the business. I just started the business, and COVID came in and hit us very hard. And we had to come up with different strategies on how to survive in the pandemic and how to still grow the business within the pandemic. So, having to have a GP by our side, they actually give us a COVID relief fund that we didn't even think of. At that point, we were stranded. So many people are losing jobs, and there's so many things that are happening, and there's no much income that was coming in. We needed to find ways on how to sustain our business. GP came in with the COVID relief fund, and it helped us to pay salaries. It helped us to even buy more raw materials. So I'm very much grateful, because if it was not for GP, we would have perhaps maybe maybe I would have closed down everything and said I'm actually giving up, because I recently started. At this point, I didn't expect to have such a pandemic to hit us, and it's not only hitting us as small businesses, but it's hitting the whole world. So having GP as a partner or as a support system, it was very much an opportunity, or I'm very grateful for that, because it actually helped me to become, and they were comforting, because with that COVID relief fund, I can say a bit of my stress was relieved. So I think as entrepreneurs, I know they take time in most cases. I know sometimes we get so impatient with them, because when you go there to apply, you know you have this idea and you want it to happen now, and you find that they have so many applications that they need to look at before they actually come to your application. And at some point, it might be very frustrating. But I think as entrepreneurs, if we can be little more patient with them, and know that eventually they will help you. Eventually they help me, and they're still helping me now, whether I need advice, whether I need anything that I need from GEP. I get access to those things, and I get to learn from the seminars that they host. Now and then I get to learn and equip myself with knowledge, so we don't have to give up so easily with GEP or any other agencies. I think if we can reach out to more agencies as entrepreneurs, it will be easy for us to then say to 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 then I can say acquire those funds, because the funds are there and people are there, and they actually there to help us. So I think it's very important for us to just have a little more patience, and having to start with the little that you have. You don't have to wait for you to have some capital, big capital, for you to start. You can start from, you don't have to wait for you to have certain things or certain resources. Just start. If you feel that um, you know that this solution that you are coming with, it will not only help you but also help the individuals that are around you. I think you just need to trust yourself enough and start. The main thing is to start and not really procrastinate or feel that they will steal my idea or what. There's no other individual that will do the idea that you have in your mind, whether maybe they are similar, but there's no other individual that will then be able to put it into action the way you would, because that's your uniqueness. So I think if we can just trust the government and trust the GEP and trust everyone that is here to help us, especially us small businesses that are based in the township. We are struggling so much, but having to have um, such assistance from GEP or such agencies from agencies like GEP, we get to get that kind of hope that there are people that sit down every day and strategize and come up with solutions on how to actually help us. So it's a matter of us reaching out to them and having to be patient with them. Eventually, the help will come. It came to me, and I know it will also come to you. So I feel, Wuti, it's very important for us to be a little bit patient. Thank you so much for inviting me.